All right, this is part 9, section 4, part 9, section 4 for my videographer. We're on number 2. We just got through with the Peace of Westphalia. Remember how that went? Dun, 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 dun. It's a waltz. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I hate playing waltzes on drums because it's so boring. All right. Number 2, Ottoman-Safavid conflict, state rivalry. Remember the Safavids? They were the new little empire we brought in. They weren't considered one of the 4 major ones, but they were something. You've looked at your map. You see where the Safavids are. The Safavids, the Ottomans, and the Mughals are the gunpowder empires, Letter A, for 2 centuries, the Sunni, S-U-N-N-I, as I finally reached puberty. The Sunni Ottomans, which were in Turkey, and the Shiite, S-H-I-I-T-E, Safavids, who were in Iran, both of Turkish descent, went to war with each other. They're both Muslim, but one's Sunni and one is Shia. Or Shiite, same thing. Shiism, same thing. Remember, the Sunnis believe that the whole problem started when Muhammad passed away. He didn't leave a successor. The Sunnis believe it should be voted on, and the person with the most wisdom should be the next one. And then from then on, voted on. The Shia believes, no, it's got to be a bloodline rule from Muhammad. So they have split up. There was a schism in the Islam religion. All right, letter B. The war ended in a, what's it called when it's a tie? Another word for tie? Stalemate. But if you put draw down. Be independent. Don't be a Mr. Hampton robot. Be independent. The war ended in a stalemate as neither army was able to successfully press into the other's territory. And no one won. They went at each other, and no one won. Number 5. Another challenge to state consolidation and expansion was local resistance. Local resistance. In other words, the people themselves living in the empire. That would be local resistance. The peasants is a good example of local resistance. Letter A, food riots. Food riots occur during times of famine, F-A-M-I-N-E, or drought, when an empire cannot supply enough food for its people. People will put up with a lot from an emperor. But when the emperor says, I'm sorry, you won't have any food, you're just going to die. Please do it quietly. Don't interrupt the peace. Go off in a corner pasture and die. They will rebel. Peasants wouldn't know. What do I have to lose? What are you going to do, kill me? I'm going to be dead in 2 weeks anyway. So might as well fight. All right. So food riots is a big reason of destabilization. All right. Number 2, these riots destabilize the nations in which they occur by crippling the image of the government. Crippling the image of the government. Even if the riots or the rebellions aren't successful, it hurts the image of the government. In other words, somebody stood up to you. They didn't win, but they stood up to you. That hurts your image just when someone stands up to you. The most notable of these was in China. China. We talked about this. We're going to get this. This should sound familiar to you. The Ming Dynasty. Now we're stepping back in time a bit here. Had restored traditional Chinese rule from the Mongols. The Ming Dynasty were able to drive the Mongols out. So the Ming have their day in the sun. The order of the dynasties are Mongol, Ming, and then we're about to find out Manchu or Qing. Huge peasant famines caused cities to withdraw from the Ming Dynasty. I mean, basically they're saying, I can't grow anything here. It's not working. We're not getting rain here. So I'm moving. It would be stupid for me to stay here. See you later. And the Ming wasn't getting any tax money on crops anyway because there were no crops. It was also at this time who was attacking? The Manchu. The Manchu were attacking. This ended the Ming Dynasty, and again there was a foreign country ruling China. What was the other foreign country ruling China? Everybody say it on the count of three together. 1, 2, 3. Mongols. The Mongols. All right, samurai revolts. Another example of local resistance. Put in parentheses there, Japan. For some reason, I didn't tell you where they were. Japan. All right. The samurai were basically kicked out of their jobs by a certain government. Remember the guy that came in? He's going to be the almighty shogun. I don't need samurais anymore. Who was his name? Tokugawa. 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 The Tokugawa government wanted to reduce the number of professional warriors. Warriors. You know, whenever we get through with a major war, like World War I and World War II, when all the boys come home, the first thing we do is decrease the size of the military. We don't keep millions and millions of soldiers like we had in World War II, multi-millions of soldiers. For two reasons. Number one, that could be a problem. What if they all get together and go, hey, we're used to fighting, let's take over this country. Might as well just got through taking over Germany. We can take Japan too. Let's take over America. One problem. Second problem, it costs a whole bunch of money to pay these people. You know, multi-billions of dollars go to the military. When you're at war, it's a whole lot more expensive. You got to pay a whole lot more soldiers. You know, they have to have socks. You got to buy them socks. That's a lot of money. The samurai, number 3, the samurai lost their jobs, their social standing. I mean, they were cool people. Remember we talked about this, that when the elites lost their positions, lost their jobs, social standing, money, and probably the most important thing to a samurai, their honor. Their honor. Before they were looked up to. Now they're nothing. That was bad. Samurais don't like that. The samurais revolted and were often able to decimate human geo. What do you call roads and bridges and water lines to a city? Infrastructure. Infrastructure. Infrastructures. Infrastructures. In other words, they weren't big and bad enough to take on the government's army. But man, they run around blowing up stuff and tearing up things. They could damage some infrastructure. All right, letter C, peasant uprisings. Another example of local resistance. Number 1, peasants have often rose up in times of strife and famine. Famine. That's kind of a review. We know that. They have enacted, now what's the fancy word for overthrowing the government? It doesn't sound anything like it's spelled. It's coup. C-O-U-P-S. C-O-U-P-S. The P is silent. You know, kind of like popcorn. The P is silent. No, that's not a good example. They have enacted coups, overthrowing the government, and refused to work. Peasants go, you're taxing me too much, I'm just going to grow nothing. you want 10% of nothing? Here's the check. Number 3, over history, there have been many of these uprisings, but one really important at this time was in Africa. And I'm hitting the Songhai Empire again because it's a little, you know, if you look at your syllabus, it's a one little bitty thing mentioned one time. And I just always have this fear, some year they're going to have an essay question over that. And by gosh, my kids are going to know the Songhai Empire. Remember the Songhai Empires in West Africa? They were Muslims. All the high-ranking people were forced to convert to Islam, that kind of deal. All right. Letter A, the Songhai Empire, S-O-N-G-H-A-I Hay. The Songhai Empire fell when it was attacked by the Moroccans, who are from Morocco. So if you would, someone go up to the big map and find Morocco. It's to the west coast of Africa, up at the top. Morocco. Somebody walking up there? I can't hear you. Is somebody walking up there? Okay, good. All right, someone's going up there. Okay, good. All right, point to Morocco. There you go. There. Okay, what? See, he's pointing. She's pointing to it right there. Morocco. Okay, come sit back down. Round of applause. Clap. And good job. Way to find Morocco. All right. Morocco invades the Songhai Empire. Now, you know where the Songhai Empire is. You have an image of that. It's on the west coast of Africa. Again, geography hits. Morocco's real close to the Songhai Empire. All right. Letter B. The peasants took this opportunity to rebel. Well, that's a good time to rebel against the country when the country's being attacked by somebody else. And what's the old saying? A friend of my enemy. No. An enemy to my enemy is my friend. Is that the same? An enemy of my enemy is my friend. Yes. So even though they don't care doodly squat about Morocco, they hate the Songhai Empire. The peasants do. So when Morocco invades them, that's the peasants' chance to attack and help weaken the Songhai Empire even more. Letter C, the people's uprising showed the discontent and eagerness for the Songhai Empire to end. Now, real quick, you should be getting these part 9 Thursday or Friday. And then go to Thanksgiving. Don't worry about anything. We're going to have a unit test when we come back. Wednesday and Thursday when we come back. We're going to have a review on Monday and Tuesday. One day, I've got a review all set up for it. We're going to do it here live via YouTube, a semi-live. But if you want to start looking over your notes, that would be cool. There's 9 sections to these notes. And make sure you look at the Hamptonized version. I give you like the big picture, kind of how everything ties together. Now, once I start the YouTube thing, I'm not doing that because I'm doing it as I go along. But look back on all those. Unit test is tough. Just got through finishing a little bit ago. And man, it's challenging. But everything in there, I can't ask you anything that's not in these notes. But you got to be able to think outside the box lots of times. All right. I think it's the last time I'm going to see you until after Thanksgiving. So have a good Thanksgiving, and we'll catch you when you come back.